Welcome back to the Tracy Take. Today, Ryan and I, we are going to be starting this new segment that we call Season Review. Original name, let us know what you think of the title, or maybe we should change it to something else. But we're just going to go in draft order. So we thought that we would go with the best team in, I can't be right, number one. First draft pick. Okay, wait, no, never mind. That is not the case. Apparently, one in draft pick means you were the worst team in the league, and none other than Jacksonville takes that spot. We're really looking forward to doing that. But Ryan and I want to tell you about a little goal that we have of getting to 400 subscribers by Super Bowl weekend. And so if you have not already, please subscribe to this channel. Help us out reach that goal. Like this video, comment on this video, and share this with your Jacksonville friends. And Ryan, let's get into it after that long intro.
Let's do it.
And this is, we talked about the Jacksonville and how they were going to be a fun team to watch. They're going to be an entertaining team to watch. They are a young team. And boy, were they, it was entertaining for sure. And boy, were they young. Boy, were they really young. A lot of craziness, I think, happened with Jacksonville here. And never would have thought that Trevor Lawrence would be in the spotlight for like locker room issues, only because of him coming from Clemson. But crazy year with Urban Meyer being the coach for 12 games. And then I think now, thankfully for all the players, that is no more. And we're going to get to that. We're going to start with what we think went well. And then definitely going to get back to that when we talk about what went bad for Jacksonville. But send it over to you. What do you think went well for Jacksonville this year?
For me, the first thing that I have kind of on the what went well list for them is I think Trevor Lawrence's progression from beginning to the end of the season was something that was very positive. I know numbers-wise, it wasn't all that great. 59.6% completion, 3,641 yards, 12 touchdowns, 17 interceptions, and then an average passer rating of 71.9. So, again, below average numbers, but I think if you watched him in game 1 versus week 18, he looked like an NFL quarterback. He was making all the right decisions. He was running when he had to. He was making the right throws, the right checkdowns against the Colts in week 18. So if he can just build off that in the offseason, I think next year they'll come back and they'll have a true franchise quarterback who can make all the throws, be a locker room leader, and just be the guy that they drafted him to be. And then after that, I still think that they have a good wide receiver core. DJ Chark missed the entire year pretty much with a torn ACL. So I think when he comes back next year, I think this wide receiver group will take a step up. And their pass defense, I don't want to say this is a good because their pass defense was 17th out of 32 in the NFL, but right at about average. And I think their pass defense will improve if their run defense improves. And they can become just a little bit more of a well-rounded defense. So,
I do agree with that, especially in this receiving core. Marvin Jones definitely helped out, have a veteran presence. Hopefully he's able, I think he's still under contract and he's able to keep up the same production. I was looking forward to seeing DJ Chark play this year, but unfortunately, obviously he missed the ACL. I will say another good that came out, because I think it's an area that they can target and that we'll get to later, but going to their sack leaders, Josh Allen had 7.5 sacks, and Dwayne Smoot, their other defensive end, also had 6 sacks. And both those guys are scheduled to come back. So I think only adding more pieces in that pass pressure area, they'll continue to get after the quarterback. Also some guys to help stop the run, I think will help that defense move forward. I also think I agree with what you're saying. Trevor Lawrence, I think for what it was a rookie year. I thought things went about to be expected. I'm curious to see what this offense can do when they get a more NFL-ready coach coming in. And I do have an opinion on who I think that they should get, who I think is a great offensive mind. Moving on to what was bad for this team is I will start out. Injuries definitely did affect the team. Losing DJ Chark was a big one. A.J. Khan, who was going to be a free agent as their right guard. He was a solid offensive piece. Yes, right guard. Yes, it was a solid offensive piece. He only played 4 games and then went out. Also, their center, Brandon Lindor, he's one of the better centers in the league. He only played about half the year as well. He is still on contract, so hopefully that they can come back. So that was just the bad of the of the offensive line injuries. Also, Travis Etienne, their other first-round draft pick, missed the whole year. DJ Chark, as we mentioned, also missed the whole year. So they were hurt by some injuries. And then lastly, kind of moving over to you, the coaching that was just the bad. A lot of locker room stuff going on this year, which really hurt the vibe, and I think just kind of the charisma, I think, of that locker room.
Yeah. No, I mean, what Urban Meyer did was not good for this team, and I really hope that they get some things figured out. I do want to go ahead and add one more bad to the list.
Go ahead.
I think this O-line did not perform well. Like you said, AJ Kahn, their guard, did get hurt. But it was still ranked 24th amongst all offensive lines by PFF. So I think that is something that definitely needs to be improved in the offseason. And another little stipulation there, Cam Robinson it's 50-50, I think, on whether he's going to stay or leave or not. But from some of the reports that I've read is that they are not going to re-sign him, and he was graded their best offensive lineman by PFF. So something to look out for. They do have Walker Little, who will be a sophomore next year. And he played in 7 games and had a 68.8 grade. So just one more thing to look out on. But I want to kind of wrap up on the good and the bad, and while we still have a couple minutes left, let's talk about what we think they can do in the offseason to improve.
Well, I do want to so I think actually what you just said, I think that's a great segue into that is they have $71 million in cap space. So deciding on what they want to do with that offensive line is going to be critical because they have the first-round draft pick, and you do have Evan Neal, left tackle from Alabama, sitting right there, who's going to be available. Yeah. Everyone's going to be available. So Cam Robinson, as you said, had a 67.3 at PFF, while Walker Little, who final 7 games at left tackle, had a higher a PFF rating at 68. Just as you said. Andrew Norwell was their left guard. He had a 67.1. He is also going to be a free agent as well. And so I think signing him is going to be crucial because other than that, if AJ Kahn can come back and Brandon Lindor came back there and be kind of what they were, that's a solid middle trio, as we already talked about. And their right tackle, Jawan Taylor, he did improve from the 2020 year. And so he did only have a 60.3 rating, but it's still an improvement, which is what you like to see. And hopefully he can improve again. But if they decide to draft Evan Neal, cut or not move forward with Cam Robinson, stick Walker Little at left tackle, then Evan Neal and Jawan Taylor can compete for that right tackle position. Or even potentially Walker Little and Evan Neal, or vice versa.
Evan Neal has a lot of experience at right tackle. He played right tackle for the Alabama national championship team in 2020 when Alex Leatherwood was the left tackle. So that's not a bad spot for him to go.
Yeah. And so I agree with you there is that like the offensive line needs to be a priority to solidify because if they can get the right coach in there, here's a good offensive-minded coach. With how athletic Trevor Lawrence is, James Robinson, unfortunately, I feel bad, and hopefully his Achilles tear, because he also did get hurt in week 16, I believe. He can come back healthy, and he's a young, up-and-coming back. I think that he could have a really good season. There's a lot of potential with this offense because I do like DJ Chark, Laviska Shenault. I think that they should maybe add another possession receiver or a deep threat receiver in the draft, or they also have plenty of cap space to add someone. So I think finding the right pieces for them going into the offensively is going to go in the offseason. But if they decide to stick with Cam Robinson, then I think they do need to add that edge rusher, which Aiden Hutchinson is going to be the guy. That's my guy too. Now that if they think Kayvon Thibodeau fits the bill better, then go with them, but find the most athletic guy. Lastly, I will say
the best guy that fits.
Yeah. Lastly, one thing that they need to address obviously is going to be coaching, and I think Byron Leftwich is their guy. I think he is their guy. I think he's one of the best. What he's done with this Tampa Bay offense has been absolutely amazing. I think they need to go after him. There's going to be a lot of potential guys, but I think he's the guy to put into this job. I think it's his time and ready to go.
Yeah, I love Byron Leftwich and what he's done in Tampa Bay. For me, I think the guy that they should go for is Eric Bieniemy.
Okay.
Eric Bieniemy was there for a lot of Patrick Mahomes' development. I think he has experience with a young quarterback, with an explosive offense. And for me, I think that is the way to go. But I don't think they can really go wrong with either of those guys. They're both very strong offensive-minded guys that are coming from very highly touted head coaches that run very good programs. So I think they have that experience.
Yeah.
I guess lastly, outside of coaching, I think the Jags just need to add good players. This isn't a huge draft where I think you're going to go out and add like the really sexy pick like last year was when you got Trevor Lawrence. I think they just need to go in and with the mindset of just drafting good players and just kind of getting depth on that roster because this isn't the draft that is going to be the face of the franchise, but to me, I call it the trash man draft, where these are the guys that are going to do all your dirty work for you. So yeah. But other than that, I think even though the Jaguars are picking number 1 overall, I think 3-14 is not a good representation of what is to come for this team. And I think they got a good foundation, and if they just keep building on it, then I think they'll be in a pretty good place in a couple years.
Yep.
So yeah. But other than that, I think that's going to wrap up this episode of the Tracy Take. If you guys have not already, please go ahead and like and subscribe. Tyler and I are trying to reach 400 subscribers by Super Bowl weekend. So if you could help us reach that goal, we would be very, very appreciative. But other than that, we will see you next time.